Last time we talked about how being called a horse really isn't so bad. And today we're going to talk about cheeks. Song of Songs, chapter 1, verse 10. Jesus is responding to the bride, and he's speaking some very important things over us. He says, "Your cheeks are lovely with ornaments, your neck with strings of beads." Now, we're getting into the poetic language of this song, as we should. It's a song. It was written in poetic language to be beautiful and to cause us to think upon it and muse upon it. That's why so many songs are written poetically with metaphors in them, so we'll think upon them. They're themes that catch our minds and our hearts, and we muse upon these things throughout the day. This is a song. It's written with poetic language. So when he talks about her cheeks and ornaments and her neck and strings of beads, we have to think about what he really might be saying. Maybe he's just saying she's got beautiful cheeks and nice ornaments. But maybe he's saying some more things. I will propose some ideas along those lines. Our cheeks are really the billboard of our emotions. Watch what happens. Ready? Watch my cheeks. See? And if I was embarrassed, maybe my cheeks would get really red. And if I was scared, maybe my cheeks would go flush. The cheeks are the billboards of the emotions. They broadcast to the world what we are feeling. And I believe here that Jesus is saying to his church, to his bride, your emotions are lovely. Now, how can that be? You and I both know full well that along with love, there's a whole lot of other dark stuff in there. We've got all these emotional churnings going on, these wrestlings, trying to love people but failing and having struggles with the things that God does in our lives or the things that God doesn't do. All this going on in our hearts. But Jesus looks into it and says, your emotions are lovely to me. He's not saying that everything we feel is right. He's saying the fact that we feel is beautiful. We were made in the image of a God who feels. Some of us have this idea that emotions are a human invention. Come on. We were made in the image of a passionate God. His emotions are different than ours in that they are pure. They're perfect. They're beautiful. He is a God of pleasure, delight. He's a God who experiences anger and joy. And he experiences them perfectly. And we were made in his image. And at the core, our emotions are lovely. And our emotional response to him is lovely. Even if it's just a little bit of love that we feel towards God. It's real. And he loves it. And that's what he's saying to her, I believe. And then he says, your neck is lovely with strings of beads. Now, in the scriptures, the neck often speaks of the will. And again, we're going to need a little demonstration here. So, watch what my neck does. Did you see that? That's right, it didn't do anything. Because I was demonstrating a stiff neck. You've probably seen in the scriptures sometimes where it talks about a stiff-necked people. A stiff-necked people is a people who can't do this. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. When we're being stiff-necked, our neck won't bend and say yes. But he's saying to her, your neck is lovely. And I believe he's saying to her, the response of your will to me is lovely. Those little obediences, those little times that we say, yes, Lord, even if we're struggling with it, what he's leading us to do, even if we don't fully understand why he wants us to do it, but we say yes, that is lovely to him. That's beautiful. Now, we really need to go on to the next verse in order to unpack this further. I know, 2 verses in one post. Whoa. But verse 11 starts with the word we. Now we have to ask, who's the we? Who's speaking? Some translators believe it's the chorus, kind of everyone in this drama. I suggest that it's still Jesus talking, and he's including his Father and the Holy Spirit in on this. And the reason I believe that is because of what he's going to say to her. I believe it's something that only the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit can do. But that's my opinion. It says, we will make for you ornaments of gold with beads of silver. This is further unpacking what he's just said to her. He just said, your cheeks are lovely with ornaments. Then he goes and says, we will make for you ornaments of gold. He says, your neck is lovely with strings of beads. He says, ornaments of gold with beads of silver. So he's unpacking, he's further commenting on what he just said. Here's what I think he's saying to her. I think he's expressing his commitment to the process of refining and redeeming her emotions and her will. Here's why I think that. We will make for you ornaments of gold. Gold is something that is refined in the fire. He said that her cheeks, her emotions, are lovely with ornaments. He's going to commit himself to the process of refining her emotions, burning out all that dark, icky stuff that's in there. You know it's there. I know it's there. And God is committed to refining our emotions, to making our response to him more and more pure, untainted by the hurt and the bitterness and the selfishness, the darkness that's in there. He's committed to refining our hearts so that we have a pure response to him. He says, beads of silver. I think these beads of silver are little beads of redemption. Silver is something that's redeemed in the refining process. It often speaks of redemption in the Scriptures. And I think Jesus is going to help us in responding to him with our will, our obedience, little yeses, little redeemed responses of our will. Here's the point. God is committed to the process of refining our hearts and redeeming our will that has gone astray. He's going to redeem it, bring it back to him, bring it back into that tender place that says, yes, Lord, that's what you want, that's what I want. We want to be in that place where we say, yes, Lord. He's committed to that process. We're not left on our own. Beloved, I want you to know, you're not alone. You're not the one who has to figure out how to respond to God the right way. He is with you, committed to the process. All of his resources are on your side to refine your emotions and to redeem your will, bring it back into alignment with his. That's wonderful. I want you to know that your emotions are lovely, your will is lovely, and God is committed to refining and redeeming your heart and your will, and leading you in love with him.